It's extremely sensitive and vital subject which we are discussing on governance for accelerating progress. See, when I look at governance, it is like we are expecting a safe and smooth ride to the destination in as early as possible system. But when it comes to a smooth and safe ride, there are three important things which we have to look at: the condition of the road, the equipment, the car which you have, and the driver. Very often, we have seen that people start blaming the driver without looking into the other two important aspects. And this is one of the nutritional challenge which I am finding, or the governance challenge I am finding in India. Now, let me give you a live example, and that will give you a clear perspective. Issue of we are talking about nutrition, and one of the agenda we were also discussing yesterday is fortification. Now, when you are talking of a nutritional governance, fortification is one of the tool or approach to look at it. There are many players in fortification. Society, for whose welfare you're looking at, the government, who has to create an ecosystem so that fortification happens, and also another segment which we generally do not debate, the commercial interest in fortification. Now, in this whole thing, who drives the agenda? And this is very important for us to look at it. Second important aspect what we are finding is that very often the ideologies are imported and trying to impose a given society without understanding the actual challenges and ground reality. Traditional knowledge, experiences, expertise is often ignored. Because it was successful in some part of the world, we try to superimpose the same thing everywhere in the world. And then, if there is a local resistance that this is not suitable, we blame it as a poor governance. This is classic thing. So what is governance? It is very important for us to look at it. Just because I do not agree to your view and I don't accept and I create resistance to a wrong concept, you call it a governance problem. Without understanding that this was a wrong approach given to us. That's one way of looking at it. Second, there is a conflicting approach between short-term objectives and long-term needs of the society. It's extremely important because some people in the governance agenda, I'm saying governance means all stakeholders, not only government. There are many governance players in the system. In the same governance model, you will have people, those who have very short-term agenda, and then there is a societal agenda which is generally long-term. Now there is a conflict, what to do? Number two, there are alternate approaches to everything. But if as a businessman I have a vested interest, I will try to defame or ignore the facts which are related to the alternate approaches. And I try to impose my agenda into the system. This leads to another level of friction which kills the governance quality. Another aspect which is extremely important in modern science, the facts versus perception. Biological system is so complex, we don't know what is actually the fact. Take example of cholesterol. 20 years, we invested $2 trillion in having a cholesterol medicines. And suddenly you come to know and say, it was all bogus. So cholesterol is no more a challenge. Same thing is happening if you go to WHO website on fortification. Even if you go today on the website, it says particular vitamins in staples should not be recommended because there can be side effect. Today in India, same staples are fortified and forced to fortify with the same vitamins. When we ask, where is the technical data? They say, who are you? We have decided. Who is guiding them? But if you go behind the scene, there are so-called NGOs, they are fronting the vitamin lobby. Should you trust NGOs? This becomes another issue of conflict of interest. So today what it appears, there are no saints in this business. Everyone sitting on the table has some agenda of their own or somebody else's agenda. In this conflicting scenario, where is the governance and to whom blame? So I think it's very, very important for us to look at it. So I have two options to look at it. Time is short, I can't go into details. One, can we ensure around the world through this forum, conflict of interest should be made mandatory in every nutrition agenda? Who are the players? What is their agenda? Who is funding? Because we are playing with the public health. Yesterday somebody was saying that mandatory fortification in some Latin American countries now creating a problem for kidney and liver. Now after 15 years, now I realize that what I took decision 15 years ago is becoming a nuisance for the society now. What you will do now? Can you say that vitamin is bad today in a given society? It will have another set of, because few words are so noble that you can't even criticize them. And if you say, now I'm withdrawing fortification agenda, people will say, are you not interested in nutrition or public welfare? It becomes a conflicting problem for policy makers and politicians. Okay, what to do now? So what I'm trying to say is, please understand, no saints around. Everybody has agenda. We have to ensure who is playing whose agenda. And let's be more transparent and open on the science. Second issue which is important for us to look at is, when you are talking of integration, we must consider, because all societies have their own experiences. After all, people are surviving in thousands of years in this world, and they are healthy, performing. What was their traditional systems? How they maintained their nutritional level? What were the local crops? Today, let me be very open. Very interesting presentation by Dr. Rajendra said, we are promoting nutri-cereals in India. Not a single discussion when it comes to nutritional upliftment. Introduce pulses. They say introduce vitamin. Why not introduce pulses? Why not introduce crops or the fruits or vegetables or cereals which are rich in the new micronutrients which are deficit? And those should be promoted. No. Only bought out commercial inputs have to be promoted. Why? So what I'm trying to say, there are a lot of things to be looked at. So governance is not as simple that we simply blame the politicians don't understand, bureaucracy don't understand. In democratic setup, when you have a committee of 20 people, you go by consensus. And in that consensus mode, if majority, so-called majority, is already colored or biased, then what the minority will do? So that is what my request is. It's extremely important, extremely sensitive. We have to expand the scope, how to make this governance happen. Let's not go on a superficial thing. Let's go into a little deeper, and you will find many more skeletons in the cupboard. Thank you.